right, what's up everybody? So hopefully I got most of my technical issues worked out over the last couple of weeks. This is going to be the first stream back since that. So if you're missing audio, if anything looks or sounds weird at any point tonight, let me know in the chat. I'm taking a look at Instagram, I'm taking a look at YouTube. Hopefully I can keep up with it. But tonight we're going to do a song leak for a piece of the song Stay that's coming out on March 13th. That'll be a little bit later in the stream. Until then, we're prepping some ingredients for an Asian chicken soup that I'm going to throw in the crock pot tomorrow. And we're also going to make a gallon of my passion fruit green tea so that I can do some boba tea throughout the week. So I see there's a bunch of people jumping in on YouTube. That's really awesome. Nathan says, I'm sure Sam is ready to sink his lips into whatever soup he's about to cook, pun intended. Oh, because Callista said killer lip sync. Okay, yeah. No, so that's the irony of tonight. It's a crock pot recipe, which means I won't actually be eating it until tomorrow. Tonight is all prep stuff. Okay, let's get started. We're going to get this passion fruit green tea going on. And again, if you're new here, if you're just now popping into the channel, I do have a brand new single coming out with my friends, Jacob and Sarah Clodfelter. Well, let me give you their artist names. JL Clodfelter, J.L. Clodfelter on Spotify, and Sarah Smith Clodfelter. It's coming out on March the 13th. It's called Stay. It's beautiful. It's very similar to like a Disney duet with a bunch of orchestration. We're really excited about it. So that's March the 13th. If you haven't already, run over to my Instagram bio, Samuel Day, and go pre-save that song. In the meantime, we also started kind of a journey a couple of weeks ago, diving back into some old's not the right word. It's kind of the historic timeline of different music videos and lyric videos kind of from my past leading up until now. So I have Stand Through This queued up for tonight as well. Let's talk about this tea. Let's talk about audio. Sounded great. Awesome. Dude, I'm so glad. Now, hopefully the connection issue has been solved as well, but this is kind of our trial run for it, Nathan. So help me keep an eye on this, dude. So we're going to be making about a gallon of this passion fruit green tea that I use to do boba drinks with. So I've got a gallon pot here. We're going to get this going, get it hot, get it just about to boiling temperature. And then while we do that, we'll talk through our recipe for this Asian-inspired chicken soup. I say Asian-inspired because I don't know how Asian it really is. It uses rice vinegar, it uses mushrooms, uses chicken thighs. But I love crock pot recipes, one, because they're low intensity to make, and two, I can make a lot and have a lot of leftovers throughout the week, which means I don't have to cook as often. Ellie over on YouTube said, what made you want to do music? That's a great question, Ellie. It was one of a lot of things that really from the time I can remember forming a thought, I just knew that I wanted to do. More specifically, like I recognized that God had given me a gift to do it. And I really believe that if God has given you a gift to do something, there's a reason for that. And it doesn't mean you're going to do it all the time. I think you can be a dog chasing your tail, trying to do everything at once. And I've had to watch that for myself too. There's seasons in life, there's times for these things. But I just kind of always knew that if God gave me the gift to do it, to sing, to play multiple instruments, then there was a reason and a use for that, to bring people to Him and to do it really excellently too. So like, even if you took a look at that video, I hope you thought that was a good video. We shot that last year. It came out earlier this year. That song is called Through the Night. It's on the radio right now. We've been on the CMW Contemporary Hits radio chart for the last several weeks with that song, Through the Night by Samuel Day. And that's not a flex, that's just me trying to share it with you. Go check it out. Go check out that music video on your own time. But yeah, that's the basics of it. And I would imagine that it's a lot the same way for a lot of other folks as well. Callista says, since I got a new phone, it's working on Insta now. Well, that's good news. Okay, so we have our pot of water kind of heating up over there. We're going to steep some green tea bags in that here soon. But in the meantime, let's talk through this recipe. So tonight, We're making this Asian-inspired chicken soup. It takes 2 pounds of chicken thighs. I've got those frozen in the freezer. I won't even need them until tomorrow. A cup of shredded carrots, 6 ounces of sliced mushrooms, 5 cloves of garlic, 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of fresh ginger, or we can use 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. That's what I'm going to do. I don't have any fresh ginger right now. 6 cups of chicken broth, 2 cups of water, and then some dried rice noodles. So, first thing we need to do is prep these vegetables. Let me get out the big cutting board. For the most part, there shouldn't be much I have to do. I got my vegetables sort of pre-chopped. But actually, you know what? I may end up going ahead and making this in the crock pot tonight. I think that's the thing. That's the goal. So it'll be done by about maybe midnight or so, which, who are we kidding? I'll be awake. And even if I don't eat it tonight, I can just put it in the fridge and get into it tomorrow. So let's set this guy to the side. Let's kind of assemble our ingredients here, Avengers style. So I have shredded carrots. I have these Baby Bella sliced mushrooms, which I think I'm going to cut these down a little bit. They're pre-sliced, which is great, but they're a little bit, they're kind of chunky. Like these are pretty big slices. I think I'm going to cut that down a little bit. So that might be our cutting board task for the evening. Got the chicken thighs, that's in the freezer. Mushrooms, let's grab our garlic. I have, there we go, some pre-jarred minced garlic. Nathan says, have you ever gotten a vocal coach? I'm strongly considering it. I haven't looked around too much, but definitely want to. I actually would love to start getting some vocal coaching. I have taught basic voice lessons myself to beginners. And when I was a kid, when I was around 7, I did take voice lessons for a while. But like when you're a child, when you're like 7 to 10, your voice isn't even fully developed yet. So I really just learned the basics with the same guy that was teaching me piano. There are some great channels on YouTube that will get you started. One in particular is Brett Manning's channel. Brett is based out of Nashville. He's worked with a lot of singers that you've heard the name of before. His program is called Singing Success, and it has some really cool insights into how the voice works and exercises, warm-ups. His program, I mean, back in the day, you used to be able to buy it on DVDs, but now I think it's like a digital access thing. But you can also book time with him and his staff. So the short answer is yes. The longer answer is I'm focusing on actually doing some client work right now. I'm doing some production work and some mixing work for some other artists when I'm not knocking out stuff for myself. So most of the budget right now has been going into advertising new music. And we're actually filming a video this coming Thursday. Well, I guess if you're on the stream, I may as well tell you, we're filming a video for Stay 2 days from now. So that's kind of where my focuses are. My time and my bandwidth is limited, but eventually, yeah, it would be great to work with somebody to go even to the next level. And I think if you ask Jacob, that kind of stuff is always a good idea. Nah, don't come in here with the rage bait, man. All right, we need to keep getting our ingredients together. Can you see this? You can't even see my countertop. There we go. That had to be really boring, right? Okay, we got our mushrooms, we've got our garlic. Let's grab some soy sauce. Yeah, I do think we're gonna have to go ahead, put these things together tonight. So we've got, I know we're gonna need rice vinegar, and we've got soy sauce. So soy sauce, rice vinegar, ground ginger, and our chicken broth. Grabbing the chicken broth out of the fridge here. I have some chicken broth left over from a recipe we made some time ago. I need to check and make sure it's still good. I don't want to be using something that's super expired. It's been in the refrigerator though, so. Okay, so this old chicken broth says best if used by the 10th of May, 2027. I'm going to venture a guess and say that's all right then. Even though it's half used, it's been opened, but it's just been in my fridge, so I think we're okay. What's up, Destiny? Thanks for joining. Again, if you guys stick around partway through the stream, we are going to do that leak of the last chorus of Stay that we tried to do a few weeks ago with Jacob and Sarah, and we had all the technical difficulties. I've got it queued up. It should be working. Ellie says, for one of your streams, you should do an Italian sandwich. That sounds cool. Send me a recipe. I'm more than happy to look at recipes that viewers submit. I kind of make a fancy sandwich myself from time to time using some baguettes and kind of curing the turkey or frying the turkey in like olive oil and rosemary and stuff. But hey, if you've got something that would be cool, let me know. All right, so here's what we need to do. We're going to place our chicken thighs, grab our big bowl here. I got to be really careful because my laptop, I don't know if you can see it, but my laptop is right there where I'm keeping an eye on the streams. So we need to measure out 2 pounds of these chicken thighs. Set this to the side for the moment. Grab the food scale. Yeah, we're really excited. We kind of pulled together some last-minute plans to shoot a video for Stay, like I said, on Thursday. And we locked down a beautiful location. And I won't say where, I won't give away all that information, but we just got the confirmation on the location earlier today. So let's zero out this scale. My water over here for the tea is starting to boil, or almost boil, so I'm going to turn the heat down so it doesn't get away from me. All right, so we need 2 pounds of this. Scale is zeroed out with that plate. All right, 2 pounds of the chicken thighs. It's almost a pound. Okay. Well, hold up, dude. I need pounds and ounces. Don't be giving me floral ounces. There we go. All right, almost there. And this should do it. Ah. That's a little over 2 pounds, but you know what? I'm not even mad. I've been going to the gym a lot more lately, trying to get back on that gains grind. So extra protein is not a bad thing. And that leaves us just about a pound in the bag for next time. So we are going to throw our chicken thighs into the crock pot. Got those measured out. And yes, they are frozen. But I don't think that really matters when we're using the crock pot. They're going to thaw out as just a function of cooking them anyway. So yeah, we're really excited. We locked down a location to shoot the Stay music video. We just got it confirmed today, and we're shooting 2 days from now. So as you can imagine, Jacob and Sarah and I were texting back and forth today, talking about just basic plans for it, wardrobe, logistics, all that stuff. I'm going to set that to the side. Let's go ahead and cut these mushrooms. How was everybody's Valentine's Day? I guess that was the most recent holiday that we've had. We need 6 ounces of sliced mushrooms. It's a really specific amount of mushrooms. All right, let's re-zero this. Let's measure out 6 ounces. The last time, that's really not much at all. Really? The last time I made this, and I have made it one time before, it is very good, but it has a very particular taste. It's a little bit gamey, and I think that's because of the mushrooms. I don't say that to scare you away from it. Actually, we're going to just use most of this thing because this is 8 ounces of mushrooms right here. So let's just grab, let's not be too concerned about being precise here. Let's just grab most of it. And honestly, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm just going to throw out the rest because I'm not going to have a use for the rest of those mushrooms. So this should be fine. I'm just going to cut down the ones that look a little bit too big so that we don't have too many chunks, and then we'll just throw them into the crock pot as we go here. Ellie says, great, well that's good. I'm glad to hear that. We've got some new people over on YouTube today, which is really cool. So while I chop these mushrooms, why don't we go ahead and throw it back. I'm going to show you, this is the lyric video for a song of mine called Stand Through This. It came out, I don't know, in 21, but this was similar to when Rise came out. It was during a time when I was on a tear of just really trying to make high quality lyric videos. The song is a little bit different. It's about determination. It's very orchestrally inspired, so it's not really straight ahead pop in the way some of the other songs are, but still means a lot to me. So while I chop these mushrooms, check out the song, the lyric video for Stand Through This.
Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. Deciding who I'm gonna be now and then. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. It wasn't what I had been planning. It wasn't what I had in mind. But if a house is coming down now, then I know one thing, it won't be mine. I know the story's just beginning. I'm still expecting what is good. I know that I was made for winning, and I'll follow through just like I should. You ain't gonna take me down. I know where to hold my ground. Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. Deciding who I'm gonna be now and then. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. It was a momentary setback. Felt like my universe was gone. The storm was coming down on my back, but I found a star, keep shining on. You ain't gonna take me down. No, 'cause I know where to hold my ground. Gotta set my face like a stone from my 1,000-yard stare to my bones. When it feels like I'm in this alone. Gotta set my face like a stone from my 1,000-yard stare to my bones. When I know I ain't in this alone. Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand? Yeah, I'm gonna stand. Look at myself in the mirror again. Am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. Deciding who I'm gonna be now and then. Oh, am I gonna stand through this? Yeah, I'm gonna stand through this. You ain't gonna take me down. 'Cause I know where to hold my ground.
All right, welcome back. Yeah, like I said, that one's, I wouldn't call that an old song. That one's still, it feels new to me, but I think it came out in like 2021 or something. But I was always really happy with that lyric video. I felt like I got really artistic with it, so I like to share it when I can. And that song is really about this idea that, man, there are moments in life where even as a faith person, you have to kind of have that conversation with yourself in the mirror about what kind of person am I going to be in this situation? How am I going to handle it? Am I going to be happy about the way I handled it afterwards? And, you know, that's important. Okay, so I've got my, take a look at my crock pot here. I've got my chicken, mushrooms, and carrots all cut up, shredded, added in there. Now we need to add the rest of these ingredients. So we need to go, garlic needs to go in here. 5 cloves of minced garlic. Now I've got this stuff pre-jarred, so 1 teaspoon is about 1 clove, so I need 5 teaspoons. Hopefully that doesn't tap out the rest of my garlic. There's not a ton left in this jar. So, anybody in the chat working on any cool projects yourself recently? You know, I'm excited that we're going to be getting a video shot here on Thursday. 2, 3. But anybody have any cool projects for? I'm counting out loud so that I don't mess this up. There's been a couple of times I was on stream and adding ingredients to, I think I was making tea, and if I don't count it out loud, I don't want to lose track. Speaking of the tea, let's shift over to the tea really quick. So my water is just under boiling temperature right now. I can see the little bubbles happening. I have scaled my recipe up. Like I said, we're making passion fruit green tea over here, so we are going to need about 7 tea bags for a gallon here. So let's get those prepped up now that the water's hot. I like doing it this way, 1, because I don't have to make the tea as often. 2, I can kind of jar some up and give it to friends every once in a while. I did that the other night. I saw some friends and I was like, hey, I brought you a sealed jar of my passion fruit green tea. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we'll bring that water's moving pretty well, so we're going to bring that heat down a little bit more and let these guys steep for a few minutes. There we go. I might use a spoon to kind of press those into the side of the pot a little bit later too, but not too concerned about that right now. Okay, back to our soup. Got to pull up these recipes on my phone. Asian chicken soup. We just added our ginger. I'm sorry, we just added our garlic. We need 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. So let's grab the tablespoon here. And if I remember right, the last time I made this, I felt like it needed more soy sauce, but you can add that by the bowl, so I won't overdo it. 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. That's closer to 3, but it's not going to hurt anything. I promise everything's going to be fine. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Let's add that rice vinegar. Callista said, dude, it was so good. What was so good? What are you talking about? Oh, the lyric video? Thank you. I appreciate that. How much rice vinegar are we doing? 2 tablespoons. That was a little bit more than 2. Again, it'll be fine. It's amazing how immediately you can smell that. It's not cooking, the chicken's still frozen, but soy sauce plus rice vinegar immediately smells good, but it immediately smells like Asian food. 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. All right, let me kind of rinse off this tablespoon really quick and dry it so that spice doesn't stick to the edges of the spoon. All right, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. Oh no, you're Boba tea. That's right. That's right. So Callista in the Instagram chat over here is one of the folks who I sent some tea with the other night. So I'm glad. You know, that last batch, the batch that you had some from, was good. It was definitely better than the batch I had made just before that. The only problem was I still felt like it was just a little bit undersweet. And I'm trying not to oversweeten the tea. So I scaled my recipe up from what I was doing on like a per glass basis, all the way up to get those measurements working for a full gallon. But I tamped down the amount of sweetness at a full gallon because I figured I can always add more. So I'm slowly working my way back up. I don't want to overdo it. I would rather the tea be a little less than the normal sweetness than to be overdone and just like spiking your insulin every time you have some of my tea. So, but I'm glad you liked it. I like it too. I've been drinking it too. All right, let's go back. Speaking of the tea, let's go back to the tea. Our green tea bags have been steeping for a couple minutes. I'm going to grab a spoon and sort of press that into the side of the pot. I like for the green tea to be pretty strong, pretty bold. Truth be told, I could probably just throw another tea bag in here, but the color looks pretty good, right? I mean, look at that nice amber color. Gosh, I really sound like I'm running a cooking show when I say things like that. Look, gaze upon it, and then look at the nice amber color we're achieving right here. And then what we'll do after we add our passion fruit puree and syrup here at the end is we will also throw it in the refrigerator overnight, let it cool down, and then we'll add the crystal boba to it just whenever we serve it out into glasses individually. All right, that looks pretty good. I can probably take these tea bags out. I've read that you really don't have to steep tea for more than a few minutes. There's been times I've just completely forgotten that a tea bag was in something and overdone it. But I never minded. I think I got used to having my tea really strong. So that's probably it right there. All right, cool. So we can just leave that on low heat. We will add our passion fruit stuff back to it after we finish up with the food. All right, let's get the rest of these soup ingredients put together, and then let's talk about a little song leak here, huh? Wow, that felt a little bit too produced. Let's talk about a little song leak here, huh? No, we'll do that leak of stay here after we get all the rest of the soup stuff put together. Okay, so we just added what? Our ginger. Now we need to add our 6 cups of chicken broth. So I'm going to be really careful about this because, like I said, my laptop is over there. So let's grab the big measuring cup. And we said, what, 6 cups, right? Yeah. Start with the one we already have open, which is that guy. Ellie on YouTube asks, what is your favorite dish? I guess it depends. My favorite, oh my gosh. What is that? Chat, I don't, maybe I'm not going to use this. How many cups? A chunk. You see that chunk floating in there? A chunk just came out of my chicken broth. There shouldn't be a chunk in there. Is that just fat that has congealed because it was in the refrigerator? Or is that something I should actively avoid? There's a, do you see, look at this chunk. I don't know about all that. All right, we're not going to use this. We're not going to use this. We'll just use the, we'll use the fresh chicken broth. It's probably just chicken fat that grouped up. But that's not a risk I want to take right now. If any of you are, if any of you are chicken broth experts, let me know. Abby says, "Heck nah." I don't know, man. It surprised me. Let's just rinse this out. Let's be super safe. I really think, okay, here it is. I'm gonna, ew, I'm picking it up. It's squishy. I think it is just chicken fat that congealed. Look at this. You see that? That just came out. Isn't that gross? I actually do think it's just chicken fat that grouped up together because I refrigerated the chicken broth. There's probably actually nothing wrong with this. But because I don't know that for certain, I'm not going to use that chicken broth. I'm going to get rid of that. Why would you touch it? She says. I touched it for the plot. I touched it for content. How many times on a cooking stream do I get the opportunity to do what I just did? Come on. That's a clip waiting to happen. Clip that out, post it as a reel. That was beautiful. And because I knew I can just wash my hands afterward and everything is fine. Are we cooked, chat? No, but we are cooking. All right. So how much do I need? I need 6 cups of chicken stock or broth. And hopefully I now have enough. Hopefully. We're going to shake these up so we don't get any other weird surprises. This is the chicken boba Josh thought you gave me. That's right. That's right. That was a chicken boba pearl right there. Callista says, dude, put it down. I know. But it was kind of funny, right? I did it for the plot. What was I even talking about? I feel like I was talking about something semi-important just now. I don't know. Okay, that's 2 cups. Awesome. Okay, and that's 2 more cups, so that's 4. So that means I should need half of the other box too. And my crock pot is looking kind of full there. We gotta be careful. Ellie says, you were talking about your favorite dish. Thank you. You asked me a question and I was understandably distracted by the chunk. Hashtag the chunk 2026. No, my favorite dish. My favorite dish to eat is probably different than my favorite dish to make. Truth be told, I don't love the amount of time that cooking takes, but I figured if I was going to be cooking about once a week, I would use it to make content and share my music with people and share Jesus with people and just connect, you know. But that's why I have the weekly cooking stream, because I had to cook anyway. Probably one of my favorite things to eat is a really good Vietnamese beef pho. If you have a chef who really takes, I don't want to say pride, but who makes an art form out of how they do their broth, it will send you, it's like that Anton Ego moment in Ratatouille, where they zoom in and he goes back to his childhood. It's wonderful. So that's probably a really good, well-crafted Vietnamese pho is like currently my favorite dish. But I don't know how to make that. I don't know how to make that to the level that I like to enjoy it. My favorite thing to make? That's a little tougher. Let's see, what things have I made on the stream here? I've made, I don't know if I've made chicken noodle soup on the stream or not. This is this is the Asian chicken soup. I've made kind of our taco salad stuff a couple of times. I make a good little Asian inspired soup that's kind of like a one-off thing. I think one of my favorite things to make just for its flavor is a good Japanese curry. Leftovers from Japanese curry still taste great. They work great for lunch. Yeah, I'm gonna say my favorite thing to make right now, because I also get to eat it, is a good Japanese curry. But my favorite thing, period, just kind of overall that I don't know how to make at the moment, is a good Vietnamese beef pho. Calista Verver said, I'm all alone on Insta, so I'm here to join the party on YouTube. You're welcome on whatever channel you like, as long as they're both working, which is wonderful. All right, so we have added our chicken broth and water. Oh, we need to add the water. 2 cups of water. Man, that is going to fill this crock pot to the brim, dude. And this looks wonderful. Like, look at this. This looks wonderful. Isn't that great? Actually looks like I know what I'm doing. The best part about this cooking show is that I kind of know what I'm doing. And we need 2 cups of water. All right, well, since we've got a whole party going on over here on YouTube, maybe it's about time to do a music leak. Assuming I don't overflow my crock pot right now. Yes, we are straight to the top. Perfect. Beautiful. That feels so official. Okay, so if you remember last week or the week before, I did a live stream on Instagram with J.L. Clodfelter and Sarah Smith Clodfelter, who are my collaborators on the upcoming song Stay. So currently the song Through the Night that just came out a few weeks ago, well, more than a few weeks ago now, came out on January 1st. That is on the CMW Contemporary Radio Hits chart right now, next to some really cool names like Toby Mac and Corey Asbury and Jelly Roll, and so that's been really cool. But we have another song coming up. This song Stay, we've been describing it as like an orchestral, like a Disney duet between Sarah and I, but Jacob did a lot of the orchestration, so he's just as much a collaborator on the track as Sarah is. And we tried to do a little bit of a leak last week on our Instagram only talk about the song, and we had technical difficulties. I think I've cracked the code of how to do it here and now, so let me give you real quick here in the middle of this stream, since we've got a kind of a good mass of people hanging out with us, the last chorus of Stay, which is dropping on March the 13th and which we're shooting the music video for in 2 days. All right, give me 1 second, let me pull that up.
With you, I'll stay. Keep warm in the light of my truth. I'll stay. I'll stay with you. I'll stay. Keep warm in the light of my truth. And show you what love's meant to do. We'll show them what love's meant to do. I will stay.
All right, so that's the very end of the song. I don't want to give you too much. I want to be able to do some drip out content drips next week, and then obviously give you the whole package when the thing comes together. But there's beautiful orchestration all throughout it. We even kind of gave Jacob his own verse. There's a whole instrumental section of the song that I composed some stuff within there too. I did some percussion work and some other things as well, so there's kind of a high five there. But it's really and truly mostly Jacob in that section. It's kind of his verse, and it's just all this beautiful instrumental interlude. So very different, different from kind of the straight ahead pop stuff that you're used to from me in this main project. And I'm gonna be honest, something I've been thinking about recently too, I don't know why, I keep getting distracted. I have this one hair, this lock of hair that is doing its own thing today. I'm thinking about getting some work done on a new Reclaimer single too. So for those of you who are hard rock fans, and haven't heard anything from Reclaimers in a while. That's cooking in my brain right now. Just saying. Okay, I'm glad I was able to make that leek work. Hopefully the audio quality was good. That's important. All right, so here's what we need to do. All of this stuff needs to be covered and cooked in the crock pot for 2 to 3 hours, or on low for 4 to 6 hours. So here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna actually cook this tomorrow. That way I can have it for like a late lunch tomorrow. I can start it in the morning. So essentially this is done. Let's turn our attention to our passion fruit boba tea, which some of you now at this point have gotten to try. I'm gonna very carefully put this in the refrigerator, because all that's gonna happen is the chicken will defrost overnight. Since our chicken thighs were frozen anyway, this will let them defrost. The last thing that we'll do tomorrow, after it's sort of heated up in the crock pot over those 4 to 6 hours, right at the end, you add a big batch of rice noodles and let them cook in, and there's your soup. That's pretty much it. If you wanted to see the recipe, go back to the beginning of the stream, and I read off all the ingredients there. And that's pretty much it. That's how you put together. If you have a recipe that you want me to try, send it over. But we need to finish up this tea. I spilled the tea, and now we need to finish the tea. So, really simply, we just need to mix in a bunch of our passion fruit puree and our passion fruit syrup. I've slowly been anteing this up. And right now, my current amounts are, we're going to go for 11 tablespoons of the puree and 9 tablespoons of the syrup. So this is going to feel maybe a little slow. You know what? Well, let's do some math here. If I can run a conversion, I may not have to do this as single tablespoons. I might be able to do it just using a measuring cup. Let's see if Siri can help me. If I can use a measuring cup, this will go a lot faster. If I can find there it is. Looking for my metal measuring cup. I used it for my carrots earlier. Let's rinse that out. Okay, let's ask Siri. Hey Siri, how many cups is 11 tablespoons?
The answer is 0.69 cups.
0.69 cups. So basically 0.7 cups, 70% of one of these guys. Well, I think I'm just going to eyeball it. Let's try. It's a lot faster than counting out tablespoons one at a time, right? Calista says he's on a roll with his dad jokes tonight. Man, don't say that. I don't want to become the dad joke guy. Okay, I think I actually see a line that'll work here. So we do our puree. There we go. That should be it. That should be enough. Pour that in. And then we want about 9 tablespoons of the syrup. So let's ask the same question. Hey Siri, how many cups is 9 tablespoons?
0.56 cups.
Okay, so just over a half a cup of our syrup. That I can deal with. That I can do. Just got to find the right line. Okay. There we go. Now, since this tea is so hot and there's some puree kind of stuck in my measuring cup, I'm just going to get some of that hot tea in there so I can, there we go. It'll kind of vaporize it and pull it out of there so I get it all out. Last thing I'm going to do is very gently, because the pot is super full, but I'm going to stir this. And I had a spoon. There it is. Just so we can kind of make sure that that puree and syrup gets, how should we say, infused into all of the tea. Man, that smells good. That smells so nice already. I don't know if this actually makes a big difference, or if it's just like, dude, once it cools down, just make sure you shake the container. But it certainly makes me feel a little bit fancier. Makes me feel like it's going to evenly distribute it if I do this while it's hot. There's some pseudoscience in my brain that substantiates that. Oh, is that a string? I think a string came off of one of our tea bags. Yep, there's a string in there. Got it. Cool. All right, guys. So, if I'm correct, we did not have any issues with the connection tonight. No stream stuttering, no things dropping out. I think the future is looking bright for Let Him Cook. So those of you who were here got to hear the leak from Stay. But here's the thing. In the coming weeks, I don't want to just use these streams as a way to just sit around and talk about myself and talk about the music I'm coming out with all the time. I want my presence on social media to have some kind of meaning to it, you know, beyond just being, I don't want to just be self-promotional. So we're gonna dive into some different stuff that I've been writing down in my notes and things that I've been talking about. But tonight, nice tight stream. We made our Asian chicken soup. Did a little bit of a content leak. So before we drop out tonight, thank you to everybody who came and hung out on YouTube and Instagram. So thankful that it's working. I'll close out by showing that Through the Night music video one more time, just in case for the people who haven't seen it. Until next time, I love you, Jesus loves you, onward and upward.